So today is June 27th, 2014. For the yogis who are practicing intensively at the center, Sayadaw would like to expound the Buddha discourses. Among the many other discourses, especially that are concerned with the yogis' practical practice, the three sutta Sayadaw selected, the Kusala-rasi sutta and Ciratthiti sutta and Mitta-macca sutta. So based on these three sutta, Sayadaw will talk about what are the purposes of the Vipassana meditation. So the first sutra is called Kusala-rasi sutra. The Kusala means merit and Rasi means heap or accumulation of merit. The accumulation or the heap or great amount of merit or great accumulation of merit. So with whom in this sutra some factors are emphasized. Among them, with whom we should share our merit, or our accumulation of merit, and then what to do to sustain or to prolong such a precious teaching of the Buddha. So in this regard, we need to know what Kusala means, what merit means. Among the several kinds of merits, the development of mindfulness is the greatest. Contemplation of body, contemplation of feeling, contemplation of mind, and contemplation of dhamma or general object. And in some other sutras, Satipatthana is mindfulness meditation is described in terms of the 37 enlightenment factors, bodhipakkhya. So by developing mindfulness or by developing 37 factors of enlightenments, we can accumulate great amount of merit. By accumulating merit, we spontaneously reduce or minimize the amount of the demerit. Among the merits, so development of mindfulness is excellent. So here, what are demerit? So especially 5 kinds of demerits are described in the Pali text as the Akusala-rasi, the accumulation of demerit. So the Buddha said to the monks and meditators that sensual desires, the desire for sensual pleasure is an obstacle to the merit. The desire make the merit weaker. So when we are thinking about sensual pleasure, and there will be no chance for us to do good things. So in this way, the sensual desire make the chance of merit weaker and less chance to do merit. And then number 2 is when our sensual desire is not fulfilled, and we feel upset, and we angry with somebody who didn't help us to fulfill our desire. So in this way, we develop the aversion and hatred to others when our sensual desire is unfulfilled. So this number 2 is aversion or hatred, is demerit. And number 3 is Number 3 is sloth and torpor, or laziness, inactiveness of mind. So when we are not active to do good things, to purify our mind, then there will be chances for demerit to take place. So laziness is also a kind of demerit. And then number 4 is uddaca kukkujca, see restlessness of mind or unstable mind, and then regret and remorse. When we have done a mistake, physically or mentally or verbally, and we feel regret, and mind becomes restless and wanders away, and regrets and remorse. So these mental states are also negative factors who prevents the merit from arising. And then the last one is vicikiccha, the skeptical doubt or the confusion or disbelief in 3 triple gems. We don't believe the Buddha's qualities and so on. And then disbelief in the law of cause and effect, karma and its results. And then we don't know what are beneficial to ourselves and others. There is confusion and doubt. There's also the demerit. So how to overcome the unwholesome mental factors or demerit? So we can transform unwholesome mental state into wholesomeness. So the Buddha said the sensual desire or desire for sensual pleasure is like the debt. So we are in debt. When we have desire for sensual pleasure, we cannot note, then sensual desire lies dormant in our heart. That's like a debt in our heart, in our mind. So unless we overcome sensual desire, we are in debt. If we are in debt, we have to repay. So we are all the time the worry about the debt, how to pay back. So the moment we see, unless we are mindful, and then we may get attached to something or someone, then there is attachment lies dormant in our heart. That's debt, and we are in debt. So the mindfulness is the best way to repay our debt. So when we have desire, we are in debt, we should notice the desire, lustful, and then we pay our debt. That's how we transform demerit into merit. So in this way, we accumulate merit bit by bit. It's like a saving account in our bank. So every moment of mindfulness means the saving account. We put money into saving account. We accumulate the merit gradually and bit by bit. So the demerit, unwholesome mental state, are like the fire, and the merit are like the water. So the fire, we can put out fire by the water. So when we have mental defilements, the fire of mental defilement, we have to put it out by developing mindfulness. That's the way we develop the great amount of merit, the accumulation or the merit. So second kind of demerit is vyavada, the aversion or hatred, which is compared to the disease or sickness. So when we are angry with somebody or something, and we feel hostile to others, and we think about how to harm others, how to destroy other people's life. That's what is called vyavada, aversion or hatred. It is a disease or illness. So when we are angry, that means we get sick. We got disease. So the best remedy to cure the disease is, of course, the mindfulness. So we have disease, anger, hatred, aversion. We note it. That means we treat it. We know angry, or aversion, or averse, and hatred, and so on. So the anger will disappear after some time. So that means we are treated well, and we healthy again. So this is also the way we accumulate merit and overcome demerit. So that demerit is called tina medat, sloth and torpor, and laziness. So when we are lazy to do something wholesome, something meritorious, and then we are like someone imprisoned, someone in custody, or someone in jail, because the mind is like the imprisoned, not fresh, not active. It is sluggish. So it's lazy mind or sluggishness is like the mind in jail or the mind imprisoned. So we have to boost up our energy and make some more effort, and then note it lazy, and slow and torpor, inactive. When the mind is become active and fresh again, we should go back to the primary objects. In this way, we overcome the laziness, sluggishness, and inactive mind. So that's how we can be liberated from the prison. So by overcoming laziness or slow and torpor, we develop the merit, and we overcome demerit. That's also the way we develop merit, or the way we accumulate merit. So the number 4 kind of demerit is uddaca kokoca. So restlessness of mind and regret or remorse. So when we are practicing meditation, sometimes the mind wanders away, and mind is restless and agitated with the several kinds of the phenomena and objects. Then we have to note it, wandering, or restlessness, and so on. Unless we fail to note, the mind wanders away, and we follow the mind. We are like the slave. We are enslaved by our mind. We cannot influence our mind. The mind is influence us. We are under the mind. So we are like the slave. We are enslaved our mind. If we have no job, we have no money, and we have to do whatever available, whatever job available, like a slave. So in the same way, if we have no merit, no mindfulness, then the mind is wandering around, and we do the this and that thing. We think about this and that, mostly unwholesome things. So in this way, we are enslaved by the demerit, unstable mind, or restlessness of mind. So to be liberated from slavery, of course, the best way is to be mindful of the restlessness of mind, and then a wandering mind, unstable mind. We should note that restlessness or agitation or unstable and so on. Then we will find our mind become happy. That's a merit. Merit means actually happiness. So merit always brings happiness to us. If the mind is wanders away, there is no happiness. Restlessness of mind is opposite of the happiness. And then in the same way, the remorse and regret is also enslave us. So we have to note it to be liberated from the slavery. As in this way, we accumulate great amount of merit. So the last one is vicikiccha, the demerit. So demerit, the last kind of demerit is called the doubt, and which is described as samoha in Satipatthana Sutra. So especially wavering mind, and sometimes we cannot decide what is wrong, what is right, or what are beneficial to us, or what are not beneficial or harmful to us. So we cannot decide. The mind is wavering, and there is a doubt, a skeptical doubt or skepticism. That is the meaning of the vicikiccha. So sometimes we may have doubt. Is this really beneficial to follow the Buddha's teaching? Or it is really true that what the Buddha taught? Or is there real enlightened monks and sangha who practice and fully enlightened? Or it was very, or whether it's very beneficial to pay respect to the monk and follow their teaching? Something like this, we have doubt and skepticism and wavering, and we cannot decide which is beneficial, which is wholesome or unwholesome. It is like we are on the crossroad, and if we cannot make right decision, we will be in danger right away. So we have to do something in a timely manner before too late. So sometimes we wavering. What we should do? Should we take meditation retreat, or should we keep on our business, making money, and we cannot decide? That's a kind of wavering, vicikiccha, and then we may be too late and to do good things in a timely manner. So we have to do something in time before too late. It is like we are on the crossroad. We have to make right decision. So in such cases, also mindfulness is very helpful. So when we are doubtful about the law of karma and or the quality of the triple gem or the benefit of meditation practice, and we should note it, doubt or skepticism and so on. So in this way, we can have our mind purified. So the merit is described as a purifying or pure dhamma or purity, sukha dhamma. And the opposite of the sukha dhamma, white dhamma is called Kanna dhamma, black phenomena. So the Sukha dhamma is reflect the light, and the Kanna dhamma is suck the heat. Sukha dhamma is resist the heat. So when we have the wholesome mind, wholesome mental state, then the mind is tranquil and peaceful. There is no heat or the mental defilements and mental hindrances. So the merit is resists the heat or the demerit or the unwholesome mental state. So the opposite is Kanna dhamma, this black phenomena, which is always suck the heat or the unwholesome mental state. So when our mind is agitated, our mind is wavering, and we should be mindful and note it, wavering or doubtful. Then the mind will be free from the doubt, and the mind will become purified and become light and white and pure, and there will be no heat or the mental defilements. So by developing mindfulness, we can purify our heart. We can gain pure heart and white heart. So here, regarding the accumulation of the merit, and avoiding the demerit, Mazi Sayadaw explained the 5 kinds of the demerit to avoid. So there are the responsibility or commitment to our parents and certain kinds of the people who we owe a great amount to. For example, our mother. So we owe a lot to our mother for what they have kindly done for us. So if we fail to return the gratitude toward our mother, that's also kind of demerit. So we have to cultivate the sense of gratitude toward our mother, and we should return to the gratitude. And then secondly, our father. So there are responsibilities and commitment to our fathers, and we have to carry out. We have to discharge our duties to our fathers. The failure to do so is demerit. And then there are monks and nuns who are worthy of respect, and they are admirable persons, and we also more or less responsible for the welfare of the such kind of monks and nuns. So if we fail to carry out our part, our duty to the monks and nuns, that also kind of demerit. And number 4 is noble people, virtuous people. There are many people who are virtuous and noble. We are responsible to help them. Unless we do anything for such the virtuous people, that's also kind of the demerit. And then the last one is the senior people. There are people who are respectable in age or in virtue. So they are called elderly people or senior people. So we are responsible to take care of the senior people. If we fail to do so, that's also kind of demerit. So we have to return the gratitude to our mother, father, and so on. So, as a sense of gratitude, the best way to return the gratitude, our gratitude to our father and mother and so on, is we should encourage them to do good things, good deeds. We should encourage our father or mother to listen Dhamma talk, or to keep precepts, or to practice Vipassana meditation, and so on. So this kind of the way to return gratitude to our parents is the best way, encouraging them to involve in their wholesome deeds. So in this way we can overcome the demerit, and at the same time we accumulate merit. So when the Buddha encourages us to develop mindfulness, there is a purpose. In this regard, the question and answer between Venerable Ananda and Venerable Buddha is the remarkable. So at that time, the Venerable Ananda and Venerable Buddha, they lived in the Kokudarama monastery and Pataliputra city. So Venerable Buddha asked a question to Venerable Ananda. So Venerable Ananda, the Dhamma always bring people the happiness and the peacefulness. So it is very important for Dhamma to prolong. So what we can do to prolong the Buddha's teaching, such a beneficial teaching, which bring peacefulness and happiness to humanity. So Venerable Ananda said, "Oh, it's a good question." So he answered the question. If the monks and nuns and the lay devotees, as long as they develop the mindfulness and they are with Buddha's teaching and Dhamma, we prolong, and the Dhamma will be sustained. Dhamma will last for long. If these four kinds of the audience, like monks, nuns, male devotees and female devotees, fail to develop the mindfulness, sadhana, Buddha's teaching or Dhamma will disappear from this planet very soon. So now, meditator here, developing mindfulness and accumulating great amount of merit, and at the same time, you are helping sadhana prolong. So in the Mitta-macca Sutra, the Buddha said to the monks and meditators, so there are Dhamma you are practicing and developing, four kinds of mindfulness and recollection of the 9 qualities of the Buddha, and a recollection of the 6 qualities of the Dhamma, and the 9 qualities of the Sangha monks and enlightened monks. And then the 4 qualities of the Sotapanna and so on. So these Dhammas should be spread among the people. So the Buddha encouraged us to share this Dhamma with the humanities. There are people who are bound by who are afflicted by the mental defilements, lobha, dosa, moha, the greed, hatred, and delusion. And then people are bound, or they are in trouble. So you need to help people by sharing your dhamma with them. But in this regard, you cannot share your dhamma with anybody else, or everyone. You have to share your dhamma with the people who are smart enough to appreciate your dhamma. So you have to share your dhamma, or how to develop mindfulness during the sitting, walking, standing, lying down, and how to accumulate merit by developing mindfulness. So we have to share this kind of dhamma knowledge with the people around who are smart enough to appreciate dhamma or our experience. So in this way, we can help the holy orders and the Buddha teaching prolong. So there are the virtuous people, enlightened people like Sotapanna and Sakaragami. All the virtuous and dedicated devotees are encouraged by the Buddhas to develop mindfulness and to share dhamma with the others and help the sasana prolong. So, what are purposes for us to practice meditation is now clear. So first of all, we have to purify ourselves of the mental defilements. We have to get rid of demerit, unwholesome mental state. And then, by developing mindfulness, we can help the Dhamma prolong. So these are very important purposes for which we are developing mindfulness. And then, if we cannot overcome the mental defilements, we are always liable to be reborn in the woeful state. And the hare or animal and a ghost, a hungry ghost, thirsty ghost, and so on. And only when we attain the first stage of enlightenment, so we gain the unshakable faith in the triple gem and a flawless virtue, especially 5 precepts, and then only can we be free from the woeful rebirths. So as long as living beings are not enlightened, then they are always liable to reborn in the woeful states. So we should help others and humanities to be liberated out of the woeful rebirths. So these are purposes for which we are developing mindfulness and practicing meditation. So in conclusion, Sayadaw wish, may you be able to fulfill the development of the mindfulness and overcome mental defilements and experience ultimate peacefulness of Nibbana. That's all for today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.